Welcome to the Perspectivas section, Lesson 1. In the Perspectivas sections, or perspectives, of this course, you're going to explore cultural topics from around the Spanish-speaking world. In this lesson, you'll hear from Lina, a young woman from Colombia, and she's talking about her husband and her baby Lulu. She has family both in Colombia and also in the United States. You will learn something about the geography and culture of Colombia as well. So let's get to it. Vamos a ello. So, now we've been listening to Lina talk about her family. Let me summarize what she said. Although she was born in Colombia and still has family there, she lives in California with her husband and her daughter Lucille, but Lulu for short. Lulu looks a lot like her father, with blonde hair and blue eyes. Her parents still live in Colombia, along with her older brother and sister. Lina is happy with her small family for now. Probably it won't grow too much bigger. Now that you know the basics of what she said, go ahead and watch Lina's video again and see if you can pick out more of what she said, and then go ahead and complete the comprehension quiz. Vamos a ello.
Hola Lina.
Hola Fer.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Bien, también. Oye, ¿me puedes hablar un poco de tu familia?
Claro. Bueno, yo soy colombiana, entonces tengo familia en Colombia. Tengo no mucha familia, pero algunas personas. Tengo, por ejemplo, una madre y un padre. Tengo 2 hermanos, una hermana mayor y un hermano también mayor. Yo soy la menor de mi familia. Y mi hermano está casado, pero no tiene hijos. Mi hermana sí está casada y también tiene 2 hijos, 2 niños. El mayor tiene 5 y el menor tiene 1 añito. Y luego estoy yo. Pero yo vivo en California, no vivo en Colombia, vivo en California y tengo un esposo y tengo una hija también. Mi hija tiene también 1 añito solamente y ella se parece mucho a mi esposo, a su padre. No se parece casi a mí porque tiene el pelo rubio y los ojos muy azules.
¿Cómo se llama tu hija?
Ella se llama Lucía, pero le decimos Lulu como un apodo.
Muy bien. ¿Y Lulu cuántos años tiene?
Ella tiene 1 añito, solamente 1 año.
1 año, ok. ¿Nació aquí en California?
Nació en California, sí.
Muy bien. ¿Y Lulu conoce a sus primos?
Sí, claro. Lulu fue a Colombia conmigo y con mi esposo 2 veces. Cuando tenía 5 meses y cuando tenía 1 año, cuando cumplió 1 año. Así que conocí a su abuelo, a su abuela, a sus primos, a sus tíos y bueno, a todas mis amigas y amigos en Colombia también.
¿Y tú quieres tener una familia grande o pequeña?
No sé, no estoy segura. Por ahora me gusta tener una familia pequeña. En el futuro no lo sé.
Ok, perfecto. Gracias, Lina.
Gracias, chao.
Bye. Hola, Lina.
Hola Fer.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Bien, también. Oye, ¿me puedes hablar un poco de tu familia?
Claro. Yo soy colombiana, entonces tengo familia en Colombia. Tengo no mucha familia, pero algunas personas. Tengo, por ejemplo, una madre y un padre. Tengo
Congratulations. Felicitaciones. Enhorabuena. You've now finished the first module, and you're on the right path. El buen camino for learning Spanish. With the verb ser and tener, you can now describe yourself and your family. Keep practicing with tener because there are lots of bodily expressions with tener that you're going to learn in the next lessons. You also now know that nouns have gender and number and must agree with their corresponding articles and adjectives. And finally, you can count from 1 to 10 in Spanish, starting with the thumb, right? Enhorabuena. Check your progress by completing the final review quiz and doing the peer review activities. In the next lesson, we're going to start talking about the body, el cuerpo. I'll see you there. Nos vemos, eh? Bienvenidos a la lección 2. In this lesson, you will learn to talk about your body at a basic level and how to conjugate all regular verbs, AR, ER, and IR, in the present tense. You will use both the verb tener, to have, and the linking verb estar, to be, to express physical sensations. You'll also build upon what we learned last lesson and practice counting up to 100. Finally, in the Perspectiva section, you will listen to Juan, who is from southern Spain, talk about how he's feeling. He has a bad cold, and he describes his symptoms and how his body is reacting to this illness. There's lots to do, so let's get to it. Vamos a ello. Welcome to the vocabulary section for Lesson 2. In this section, you'll learn the basic words that deal with the body and physical sensations. Words like being happy, being sad, feeling sick, feeling uncomfortable. These are words you really need to learn in order to be able to engage in everyday conversations. To memorize these new words, you need to make new associations between the sound, the image, the written word, and the English translation. In the exercises, drag and drop the correct Spanish word onto the images and listen to the Spanish pronunciation. Remember, research tells us that you need to repeat this process about 10 times for each word in order for it to stick in the memory. Try to practice throughout the week in order to get really familiar with the vocabulary presented in this lesson. Once you're ready, make sure to do the comprehension checks. The many cognates that exist between English and Spanish will help, but listen carefully for changes in pronunciation. Okay, let's get to it. Vamos a ello. Welcome to the grammar section for Lesson 2. In this second lesson, you will practice expressions using a second linking verb, estar, that expresses changeable states, such as feeling so-so, having a cold, being happy, or being uncomfortable. In addition, you will combine the verb tener, that you learned in Lesson 1, with certain nouns to describe physical sensations like being thirsty, hungry, cold, hot. You will also learn to conjugate regular verbs, those ending in AR, ER, and IR, in the present tense. And finally, by the end of the lesson, you'll be able to count up to 100. So let's get to it. Vamos a ello. When talking about changing physical states with adjectives, use the linking verb estar rather than ser. They both mean to be. Make sure everything you say agrees in person, number, and if possible, gender. So for the verb estar, we have yo estoy, tú estás, él está, ella está, usted está, nosotros estamos, vosotros estáis, ellos están, ustedes están. Here are some examples. Estoy regular, I'm feeling just so-so. Estoy molesto por la comida picante. I don't feel so good because of the spicy food. ¿Estás resfriado? Do you have a cold? ¿Está usted enfermo? Are you sick? Using the formal form. Mi compañero de piso está enferma. My roommate has a cold. Los ojos están irritados. My eyes are irritated. Chicos, ¿estáis contentos? Are you all happy? Remember that usted, ustedes, is the formal second-person subject pronoun, but they're paired with third-person verb endings. The verb tener combines with certain nouns in order to describe physical states. Remember, the verb is conjugated yo tengo, tú tienes, él tiene, nosotros tenemos, vosotros tenéis, and ellos tienen. So, for instance, you could use tener with the noun frío. Tengo frío, I'm cold. Tengo calor, I'm hot. ¿Tienes hambre? Are you hungry? ¿Tienes sed? Are you thirsty? Ah, tiene fiebre, he has a fever. Tenemos tos, we have a cough. Tienen dolor, they are sore. You've already learned about the present tense endings for AR verbs, such as preguntar, to ask questions. Remember, the AR verbs represent about 80% of all of the verbs that you're going to encounter. But here, you also have the endings for ER and IR verbs. Notice that the endings for ER, IR verbs are identical, except for the first and the second person plural forms, the nosotros and the vosotros forms. So let's review and take a look at the AR verbs with a verb such as preguntar. Yo pregunto, tú preguntas, él pregunta, nosotros preguntamos, vosotros preguntáis, ellos preguntan. Now let's look at an ER and an IR verb. An ER verb could be like the one comer, to eat, and an IR verb could be like vivir, to live. Yo como, yo vivo. Tú comes, tú vives. Él come, él vive. Nosotros comemos, nosotros vivimos. Vosotros coméis, vosotros vivís. Ellos comen, ellos viven. Here are some examples. Como pan todos los días. I eat bread every day. ¿Comes pan con la comida? Do you eat bread with your food? Usted come mucho pan. You eat a lot of bread. Comemos mucho durante el día. We eat a lot during the day. Ellos no comen nada. They hardly eat anything at all. Vivo en Davis. I live in Davis. ¿Vives en Davis? Do you live in Davis? Mi madre vive en Davis. My mother lives in Davis. Vivimos en California. We live in California. ¿Vivís en California? Do you all live in California? Viven en California. They live in California. So you already know how to count from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's keep going. After 10, we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, if we want to add numbers on to 20, the 20 changes to 20, and we add the numbers that you know. So 21, 22, 23, and so on. When you get to 30, it's 30, and we just use the conjunction y. 31, 32, 33, and so on. You get to 40, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, and so on. For 50, 50, 51, 52, 53. We get to 60, 60, 61, 62, 63. We get to 70, 70, 71, 71, 72, 73. Be careful between 60 and 70. One is 60, the other is 70. We get to 80, 80, 81, 82, 83. We get to 90, 90, 91, 92, 93. Now, when you get to 100, by itself, you have the word 100. That means 100. But if you're going to count more, what are you going to do? Well, you already know how to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have your tens as well. You're going to use the form ciento, and then add all the numbers that you just learned. So, 101, 102, 103, 104. If you get up to, for instance, 120, 120. If it's 122, 122. If it's 133, 133. If it's 166, 166. If it's 176, 176. So you get the idea. Practice these numbers. There are a lot of numbers, and you need to practice them putting together all of the small numbers with the tens. Welcome to the Perspectivas section, Lesson 2. In this lesson, you'll hear from Juan, a young Spaniard from the southeastern town of Murcia. He's not feeling so well. He has a cold with all of the familiar symptoms. You will also learn something about the geography and culture of Spain. So let's get to it. Vamos a ello.
Hola Juan, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, Fer, ¿qué tal? Pues estoy regular. Yo creo que estoy resfriado.
¿Tienes gripe? ¿Qué tienes? ¿Qué sientes?
Pues
Hola Juan, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, Fer, ¿qué tal? Pues estoy regular. Yo creo que estoy resfriado.
¿Tienes gripe? ¿Qué tienes? ¿Qué sientes?
Pues a lo mejor es gripe. Yo espero que sea un resfriado. Pues, tengo los ojos irritados, me lloran mucho, me duele la garganta, tengo fiebre. No me duele todo el cuerpo, pero estoy molesto. De repente tengo frío, pero sudo. Y
¿Tienes fiebre?
un poco, no muy alta, pero sí que tengo algo de fiebre. Voy a ir al médico en una hora y yo supongo que medicina, algún medicamento.
¿En tu casa alguien está enfermo?
Mi compañera de piso está resfriada.
Oh,
Yo intenté apartarla, pero ella le gusta mucho dar abrazos. Sí.
te has contagiado, Juan.
Yo creo que me contagié, sí.
Bueno, pues ve al médico y espero que te mejores para trabajar mañana.
Eso espero yo también. Gracias, Fernanda.
De nada.
Gracias.
Juan is having a tough day. He has a nasty cold coming on. He feels cold, his eyes are irritated and watering. He probably has a fever, and in general, he just feels uncomfortable and annoyed. He's going to see the doctor within the hour and expects that he'll get some medicine. He hopes it's not the flu, la gripe. He's probably picked up a viral infection from his roommate who likes to give a lot of hugs. In other words, está contagiado por ella. He's been infected by her. Now that I've explained the basics of what Juan is talking about, go ahead and rewatch the video a few times and see if you can understand a bit more about what he said, and then go ahead and complete the comprehension quiz. Congratulations! Felicitaciones! You've now finished the second lesson. Congratulations! Felicitaciones! You've now finished the second lesson, and you're on a good track. Vas por buen camino. You're now able to talk about changes in your body and describe physical sensations using estar with adjectives such as estoy enfermo, estoy molesto, fuerte, débil, as well as employing that ever versatile verb tener with nouns such as tengo frío, tengo calor, tengo hambre, tengo sed, tengo tos. Keep practicing the present tense for these regular ER, AR, IR verbs, because in the next chapter we're going to see some irregular ones as well. Finally, you can now count up to 100 in Spanish. Enhorabuena! Check your progress by doing the review quiz and the peer review activities. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about places, weather, and the environment. I'll see you there. Nos vemos pronto!